when you first got to the NBA and you were playing with the Thunder as a young player, said this, 20 minutes or so ago, that the NBA wasn't really an aspiration. And then you go to the Thunder, which is, has Russ and KD and Serge, and you're immediately thrust into a team that's trying to win a championship, into a high pressure situation. Was that overwhelming at all early in your career? Like, were you prepared for that?
I think so. Yeah. Cause I didn't know like the players. I knew of KD. I never looked to any of them, if that makes sense. So like, I guess that helped me, like not knowing much about any other players. There was no hype. I didn't see like Russ and was like, oh my God, Russell Westbrook. Oh my God. Like, I wasn't doing any of that. It was just like, oh, here's the bro, cool.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty normal. Especially in that rookie season, bro. I don't know if you remember, I got punched and like, oh my God, everyone was hitting me that year. And because I was playing really hard and because that's what they told me to do. They were like, hey, you just go and play hard. And I was like, okay, and be physical. So I was just hitting everyone. And then everyone was just like getting ejected from the game or elbowing me in the face on purpose or whatever, or punching me. I won, I will say, the Memphis Grizzlies series with OKC versus the Grizzlies. In Game 6, Zach Randolph punched me in the face. And he could not play Game 7. So I claim that victory solely because of my contribution.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, bro. He punched me.
Did you wait? Did you have concussions that year?
The NBA wasn't too hyped on concussions, bro, so they didn't really care.
Didn't you fight with Nate Robinson too?
No, I didn't fight
Or am I making that up?
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. There was so many there was like a Vince Carter one, Swaggy P one, Nate Robinson one, like. There was all these dudes, right? That just hit me back, but I'll just keep playing, and I guess that's what pissed them off even more. Was I'll just like carry on, and I wouldn't give them a reaction. So, yeah, that was the first year.
You played with Russ for a long time. I told this story on a earlier podcast episode, but like you hear stories about him, I guess, from the outside, and I never really knew Russ personally, and then I got to spend a little bit of time with him in the bubble, had a couple dinners with him, and he seems like a really good dude.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, what was he like as a teammate?
No, he's great. He was awesome. He just reminded me of one of my just my older brother. Yeah, I mean, he reminded me of one of my older brothers, bro. He's just like, yeah, like they're intense and stuff, and they say a lot of things and whatnot, but you kind of got to like sift through all that and kind of see what they're actually saying, if that makes sense. And so, it doesn't really matter like how intense they say it, as long as the message is getting across, right? And so it's not for everyone either, right? Not everyone can respond to that sort of intensity or whatnot, right? But this is just on the court. Off the court, bro, like solid dude, awesome, really, really cool. And then on the court, obviously, he's bloody passionate. And whatever you want to call it, whatever when you want to name it, mate. Intense, passionate, angry, psycho, whatever you got. I guess the biggest thing I like that not many people understand is that he will make a decision. It's actually pretty crucial. Like, say for any sort of scheme that you have, especially like with us, a lot of things, like some people just say it and kind of on the fence. They won't come out and fully like, no, we're doing this. Like, we're doing this, and that's what we're doing. It's a huge thing to have, because when you're 100% committed and everyone's on the same page for whatever it is, even if it may not be the most optimal scheme, it has a higher chance of succeeding than the one when you're kind of on the fence about, right? Because everyone's on the same page and all that sort of stuff, right? So that was like probably the biggest thing that I liked about Russ, is that he'll just make a decision where no one really would kind of have the nuts to kind of come say, hey, this is what we're doing, right? He'll just say, no, we're doing this, and that's what we're doing. And so everyone's on the same page, no problems, right?
Would you say that Russ was the leader of those teams and not Kevin? Like in terms of their personality, who was the guy that was not to say the alpha, because that's the wrong word, because I think Kevin is an alpha, but just in terms of like the spiritual, emotional leader, it was Russ, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Or Nick Collison.
Yeah, I think so. Nah, yeah, old Nick. Old mate, he's just in the background, just picking up the screen. Like, oh, come on, guys. He's the ambulance, mate. No, he, see, when those three, because it was awesome. Then this is just remembering from as a rookie. Russ, Katie, and Serge, and Perk, they're all bloody friggin'. That was awesome, right? And they will all go at it, bro. All of them will just like constantly you'll call it bickering, but they'll just argue crazy. And it just created that really competitive environment, right? Like there won't be a practice where it's like kind of soft. It's always like intense. All of them just like trying to just beat the other one, right? Crazy. It wouldn't be fair for me to say like who was like alpha leader or whatever, but like I think what's fair to say is that was a healthy, a healthy team. They may not, if you're there and you're like, oh shit, like they're arguing crazy. For some people that might not be healthy, but like they got to the point right away, right? Which was awesome. And they just constantly made each other better, I thought, And as a rookie, bro, I was all about it. I just came and I had to step up my game and kind of like, play at that level, or even try and get acknowledged to even be seen. You know what I mean? So,
because I know the environment you're describing.
Yeah.
Because I've had it on a couple teams.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to emulate that environment without the right personalities. Because, what you're describing to me is leadership, but not everybody leads that way. I do think it's because what you're describing, like that's something that, like, I think a lot of us, we crave that, right? And when you're in that environment too, there's accountability.
Yeah.
And we're all better off when we're being held accountable.
Yeah.
But it's hard to create that environment in an sort of an inorganic way.
Yeah. Okay, bro. It really depends on the people that you kind of bring together, the players, because some players don't respond well, but then they're not upfront either. So whenever someone's not just showing like their emotion, they don't have an opinion on anything. That's like a dead giveaway. You're just like, you don't know that guy. You don't know how he reacts. You don't know what is going to happen. You're just waiting for him some way through the season to absolutely lose his mind. And then you just know, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's a bit of a couple loose screws in there, eh, mate? Serge and Russ and Katie and Perk, they'll all go at it. But, I mean, that was just normal. But it was good as well. It's like a healthy discussion. Obviously, you would need like an umpire in there. Just, simmer down, mate. Oh, yeah, that was uncalled for, whatever, every now and then, but that's okay. But you get to the root of the problem, and then you can start working on solution, right?
Who was the umpire?
A lot of times it was Mark Bryant, the coach. I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
MB.
He coached me my rookie year. He was our player development coach my rookie year.
Oh, for real? Yeah. So his voice, right? His voice is like, it's real weird, but it's like the deep kind of 2 a.m. jazz radio kind of voice.
Those type of questions, you expect for kids these days.
I don't know. It's not that. It's not that. That sounds way like soothing. So yeah, he was more of the umpire. Really cool dude. Everyone liked him. So yeah, even me and but that's what was good, because like in that environment too, me and MB would go at it mid game, just in a timeout. I'd just say something and he would tell me something, and then I'd just like snap. No, it's bullshit. Like it doesn't even work. And then he'll come in, and then what's good is that you have about 1 minute to solve the problem, and we solve the problem. Sometimes in some of these timeouts, you're left with more questions, which is not a good thing. You need to be really, really quick, right? So, but that's just the environments, mate. As you know, you probably like those environments. I enjoy them myself.
The season is long enough. There's enough stress and pressure and competitiveness that we all should be allowed two major psycho freakouts.
I'm waiting for yours, mate. I'm waiting for yours. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I just want to
It's coming.
tear on the quarters.
On this show. Wait 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Oh
Waiting
my
for it.
God.